With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair.
For the past year, we've watched Sheryl Swoopes repeatedly target Caitlin Clark with bizarre accusations, claiming she's a 25-year-old competing against teenagers, that her rookie season isn't impressive, and that no one wants to play with her. The attacks felt relentless and unfounded.
Your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
I used Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dumb.
Then Cheryl Miller stepped into the conversation. The basketball icon and former coach of Clark delivered a powerful rebuttal on the All the Smoke podcast, calling Swoopes a big dummy and completely dismantling her false narratives. Miller's fierce defense of Caitlin Clark not only put Swoopes in her place, but also revealed some exciting insights about the future of the Indiana Fever, news that has fans buzzing. Ready for this? Let's dive in.
Two-time Player of the Year, two-time National Championship, two-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we break down Miller's comments, have you ever wondered why one of the sports legends seems so intent on tearing down the WNBA's brightest young star? It's time to unpack Sheryl Swoopes' strange crusade against Caitlin Clark, one that's followed her from college all the way into her rookie pro season.
We'll talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all began when Swoopes started making wildly inaccurate claims about Clark's college career. In perhaps her most outrageous remark, Swoopes alleged that Clark was a 25-year-old playing against 20-year-olds while at Iowa. In reality, Clark was just 22 and in her fourth year, just like countless other college seniors. When confronted about the inaccuracy, Swoopes backtracked, suggesting it was just hyperbole related to COVID eligibility rules, a flimsy excuse that didn't hold up.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots.
But Swoopes didn't stop there. She went on to claim Clark took 40 shots per game, portraying her as a selfish volume shooter. In truth, Clark averaged just 22.7 shots per game. What makes this accusation especially ironic is that Swoopes herself averaged 19.2 shots per game in her senior year, only 3 fewer than Clark. It's a classic case of throwing stones from a glass house. When Clark neared the all-time NCAA scoring record, Swoopes switched tactics again, suggesting Clark only broke it because she had a 5th year.
Bring back Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
That claim was flat out false. Clark broke the record in 4 years, the same as most college players. While she was eligible for a 5th year under COVID rules, she opted not to use it. As Clark entered the WNBA, Swoopes boldly predicted she wouldn't dominate. But Clark quickly shattered rookie assist records and emerged as one of the league's top playmakers. Suddenly, Swoopes went silent. The numbers said it all. Clark wrapped up her rookie season averaging 19.2 points and a league-best 8.4 assists per game, silencing critics and clinching Rookie of the Year honors.
Say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that season.
Perhaps the most revealing moment came during Sheryl Swoopes' appearance on Angel Reese's podcast, where she continued to subtly undermine Caitlin Clark while claiming she doesn't dislike her. It was a textbook case of saying one thing while clearly doing another.
Cheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were...
The basketball world began to take notice of this pattern. Eventually, Swoopes was pulled from broadcasting an Indiana Fever game and replaced by Nancy Lieberman, who didn't hesitate to call out the misinformation being spread about the WNBA's newest sensation.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone. And I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes.
Fans had been waiting for someone with real credibility to step up in defense of Caitlin Clark. That moment finally arrived when Cheryl Miller walked into the All the Smoke podcast studio and absolutely lit up the critics. What happens when a basketball legend who's actually coached Clark decides she's had enough? You get one of the most authentic and passionate defenses in women's basketball history.
Actually, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was given.
Miller didn't just offer casual support. She came in with a fire and precision only someone of her status could deliver. Her now viral comment aimed at critics like Swoopes said it all in just 2 words. Come on, you big dummies. The studio erupted. But that was just the beginning. Miller passionately defended Clark's work ethic from first-hand experience. This wasn't just another pundit weighing in. This was Cheryl Miller, one of the greatest to ever play the game, directly confronting the hypocrisy surrounding Clark's rise.
Look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
She didn't hold back from stating an uncomfortable truth. Caitlin Clark's presence has elevated the entire league, including the paychecks of the very people criticizing her.
Recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my color.
What makes Miller's defense so powerful is that it's not based on speculation. She speaks from direct experience. After coaching Clark in the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller had a front-row seat to assess her game beyond the flashy highlights, and what she discovered genuinely surprised her.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because She's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't.
I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth, Miller said, effectively dismantling months of media spin in one simple sentence. She went further, offering rare insight into what truly sets Clark apart from the rest.
Her past, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version, thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Beyond Miller's technical breakdown of Clark's skills lies something even deeper. A real emotional bond forged during the rookie's toughest moments. When the Fever finally earned their first win of the 2024 season, Miller didn't just congratulate her. She gave Caitlin something very few others had, unconditional support when she needed it most.
He was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this. Use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what.
That embrace between Miller and Clark after Indiana's first victory wasn't just a routine moment between basketball figures. It was a turning point that revealed how isolated Clark had felt under the weight of relentless criticism. Miller recalled the emotion of that moment. I gave her the biggest hug I could. When she saw me, she said, "Oh man, finally somebody who's on my side." She was getting hit from every direction.
Maybe it's a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head. And I hope people understand that. But it's everything that she's.
In that vulnerable moment, Miller didn't offer empty comfort. She gave real guidance, the kind that comes from someone who's walked a similar path. "I'm so proud of you. Savor this. Use it as a formula. But keep being you no matter what. Keep being you." These weren't just nice words. They were a lifeline for a rookie overwhelmed by expectations and judgment.
I gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she was like, "Oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side."
Right, they could relate.
The one thing that I said to her, and she was heading into her senior year, was have fun. No matter all the static, just make sure you find that quiet.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world listens, and for good reason. Her voice carries the weight of an extraordinary legacy: 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national championships, an Olympic gold medal, and a spot in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But Miller's support for Caitlin Clark goes beyond her impressive resume. She sees something in Clark that many critics overlook: her exceptional court vision that makes her far more than just a scorer.
Set a screen for Caitlin. Caitlin don't need a screen. Caitlin's got great handles. The one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
She bounce pass. The bounce pass is powerful, which is almost non-existent in the game.
The one thing I think people don't really appreciate about that young lady's game: she can pass the ball, Miller emphasized, highlighting a key aspect of Clark's play that elevates her from simply great to potentially transcendent. This wasn't mere praise. It was validation from someone who knows basketball brilliance when she sees it.
Done for the women's game from the collegiate level to now, and it's working. And it was only a matter of time. And great narratives, great storylines. But now the bottom line comes down to one thing: it's about basketball, and it's about winning.
What makes Miller's perspective especially impactful is her unique position at the intersection of player development and media narratives. During the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, she witnessed Clark's talent firsthand. In just one honest observation, Miller dismantled months of false narratives pushed by the old guard about Clark's abilities.
Advice, if any, did you share in that meeting with Caitlin? Because I know that she spoke very highly of you, got great respect.
For a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious. And
But the All-Star Game was about more than debunking myths. It marked the beginning of a relationship that could change the course of the Indiana Fever. When Caitlin Clark nervously called Cheryl Miller coach for the first time, neither fully realized they were planting the seeds of what could become the WNBA's next championship powerhouse.
for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious. And it's
Long before they stepped on the court together, Clark had admired Miller from afar. Obviously, Cheryl, she's like one of the pioneers of our game. Just an awesome individual. Her personality radiates, Clark shared. Her respect for the basketball icon was genuine. This wasn't just polite acknowledgement. It was real excitement from a young star who knew what it meant to work with greatness. That anticipation only grew as the All-Star coaching announcement approached. For her to get to coach us, it's super exciting for me. I was super excited when I heard that news, Clark added. But it was their first personal interaction that truly hinted at the power of their partnership.
to be around those two people that have done so much for the game. For me, it's super special. Like, there's still two people that I really look up to and idolize and appreciate everything that they've done. And for them to have this moment too and be a part of it, like, it's just super.
Despite her confidence on the court, Clark approached Miller with the reverence of a student meeting a lifelong idol. I called her coach, and she said, "I don't know about that. We'll have to see how I do during the game," Clark recalled with a laugh. That small moment of humility from both sides speaks volumes about the foundation they're building. What makes this connection so exciting for Indiana is how clearly Miller sees championship DNA within the Fever's core. After working with them firsthand, she didn't hold back. Indiana has a very, very bright future. Coming from someone with multiple national titles and Olympic gold, that statement carries serious weight.
Smokes. What an opportunity. And I was excited, like really, really excited, till I found out that the team I'm coaching wants to beat the brakes off our Olympic team. I'm like, okay, the pressure's on. So now we got a game, folks. We're going to have a game, but it's been fantastic.
What impressed Miller most wasn't just Clark's individual talent. It was the collective fearlessness of the Fever roster. This is not a team people want to play, Miller observed. They're not only getting better, they're confident, and they share no fear. They're fearless. That mental edge, the drive to face any opponent head-on, is exactly what great teams are made of. Perhaps most surprising to Miller was the team's basketball intelligence. "I did not count on their basketball IQ being that high," she admitted. "I knew it was high, obviously, because they play at this level. But it's one thing to know knowledge. That cerebral side, the ability to understand and process the game deeply, is what separates good teams from championship ones."
That came well before today's game. They were skilled. They were incredible. The spotlight is now enhanced, and give these women credit. They have certainly elevated the game. But there are some truly, truly great players that could play today that played yesterday.
And you know what? And I love the way that you said piggyback, because in no way, shape, or form am I not appreciative of where the game is at and the exposure, because we get exposure. Everybody forgot Lynette Woodard until Caitlin Clark broke her scoring record.
Looking ahead to the 2025 season, something special is brewing in Indiana, and it goes far beyond X's and O's. The mutual respect between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Miller isn't just performative. It's the foundation of something potentially historic. Clark has often called Miller one of the pioneers of the sport and praised how her presence lights up the room. But what makes their connection so compelling is how sincere it is from both sides. Miller has been blown away by Clark's abilities, especially her court vision, which she describes as seeing the game in 3D. This isn't hollow praise. It's acknowledgement from one of basketball's greatest minds. When Miller told Clark, "I'm so proud of you. Savor this. Use this as a formula, but keep being you. It wasn't just encouragement, it was the passing of a torch. While critics continue to push tired narratives, the Clark-Miller Alliance stands for everything. Right about generational connection in basketball. The future in Indiana isn't just bright, it's championship caliber. With this kind of mentorship in place, the Fever might just be on the path to greatness. Let us know in the comments how excited you are. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.